Continuous learning specifically, I find is a culture thing. It's being able to establish an environment where it's okay to make mistakes and learning from those mistakes.
Thank you for joining me today. I'm sure everyone's interested in hearing the insights and the topics that we're going to cover. I'd like to introduce you, Alex. If you could give us a quick, brief overview of who you are, your background, and we'll get going.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm Alex the Peltier. I've been in software engineering for, I think I worked out to be about 11, 12 years now, which has kind of flown by in a whistle. I'm the VP of engineering for a company called Signapse. So we're a 2-year-old startup based out of London, but we're fully remote. So we're doing work around making AI, using AI technology to make kind of the world a bit more accessible for deaf people on transport, video editing. So it's a really interesting space, really interesting job. But I've worked in lots of different industries, government, public sector, startups, fintechs, manufacturing companies. Yeah, so a nice broad spectrum.
Yeah, awesome. I bet it's obviously the industry you're in is really rewarding as well, and getting
Yeah.
to see, I guess, future technologies be used. It's doing kind of tech for good. So no, thanks for the introduction. I guess the first question I'd like to cover is what does a typical day look like for you as a leader? And I guess what challenges do you face?
It varies. And I think it varies from companies I've worked for. At Synapse, because we're quite a small company, it's still very hands-on. So generally, in a day, I am still writing code. I'm across all of our teams. So I could be one day. I tend to go where I'm needed. So it could be one day that I'm doing some DevOps work. Could be doing some back end API work. I could be because I run both engineering and product at Synapse, so it's a bit of a mixture, which is nice because it means that some days I'm doing product work as well and kind of managing product backlogs and working with our product managers, which is lovely because it's refreshing and no day is the same. At other organizations I've worked at, it's been more of the kind of team leadership work. Who are managing teams, managing direct reports, which I love as well. Although personally for me, getting kind of stuck in every day is really good. But yeah, it's nice. Like I work with everyone in the company.
What do you use to empower your teams in terms of like positive collaboration as well? And how do you push continuous learning? Do you have any certain techniques that works for yourself?
Continuous learning specifically, I find is a culture thing. It's being able to establish an environment where it's okay to make mistakes and learning from those mistakes. We have training budgets assigned, but more or less is kind of I never like to say no to any training requests that come in. You can take as long or as little as you want on a task, especially if it's something new. And that kind of environment that we've built allows us to basically make people feel safe about training and make people feel safe about making mistakes. I've had people come to me and say, I'd like to go to this conference. And it might not necessarily be entirely relevant to what they do, but they're learning and they're self kind of progressing in their career, which is great. And I'd never say no to a request like that. I think you have to take it with a pinch of salt. I think because I'm in software engineering, if somebody came to me and said, I want to go on a cookery course, that might be slightly different to kind of saying, I'm a junior front end engineer and I want to go on a security course. That's very different because they're saying, oh, maybe that's somewhere this person wants to go in their career. Yeah, I'm super pro kind of training, and I like to instill that in any kind of direct reports that I have and anyone in my team. I think there should never be any limitation to training. We have kind of accounts with Udemy and stuff that we use for different courses. But mostly, I think with software, it moves so quickly and it's impossible to stay up to date all the time. So we're trying a new we've recently started writing some code in Rust because we do a lot of video editing, and it's a nice, powerful language. But that's a whole new skill that everyone's had to learn. So we can take time, learn it, understand the pitfalls of it, how it can link in with other stuff, and we slowly start going from kind of practical examples that we can use. That's another important thing actually, is understanding how people learn is one thing. So I've worked at places where it's been everyone has to do a training course. For me, that wouldn't work very well because I'm a very practical learner. But for other people, they like to read a book, watch a video. It's understanding the different kind of makeups around people and how they learn, and giving that power to kind of to the employee to be able to choose the training course that works for them.
Great. It's good to hear that you're obviously really proactive with personal development and training, because I see often there's training budgets, but whether they're implemented or there's mandatory courses that you have to do, and it may not be of interest or use to your career.
Yeah. We don't have any mandatory courses apart from the usual kind of do your cybersecurity training courses. Everything else is very flexible, especially in our industry. I don't think you benefit yourself by limiting people, because I've worked in teams where somebody's just had an interest in something, and then that's taken us down a path which I would never have predicted us going down, but it's definitely benefited the company as a whole. So a great example of that is I had an employee once who was really into Istio, which is a service mesh for Kubernetes. It's a very niche topic, but it actually gives you loads of security benefits. And at the time I was working for a fintech, security is really important when you're dealing with finance. So actually, because this person had an interest in that topic, it helped the company and the team grow. And he was then able to share that with everyone else as well. So it helped everyone learn Istio. He was the expert, but we all learned a bit about it.